today we're out because of the events that unfolded yesterday, where we decided to do a civil rights style sit-in. Under the Civil Rights Act and under many amendments in the Constitution, we have a right to sit down and eat. And so we decided to do a sit-in, and the result of that was 6 people getting arrested for not leaving when the police asked them to leave because we were criminally trespassing, which the definition of criminally trespassing was not what we were doing. So, they were arrested, they were released this morning, and we decided to come back and make a statement, and we did. So we're out here just, making our voices heard. That's one of our rights under the Constitution, to have our voices heard. Myself, I come from a family that is, pro-freedom, pro-American. We're all born here. My dad, he fled communism for this country. My grandfather, he fought for this country in the Army. My brother, he's a Marine, he's fighting for this country. So, myself, I stand up for freedom. I stand for freedom and I stand for my rights because I know they are given to me by God. No man has given it to me. No politician, no public servant, not even a police officer can give me the rights that I know I'm ordained by God to have. So, I'm here and I'll be here every day, because of these mandates and the mandates that they're pushing. It was a result of my unemployment. I had to make a choice on whether I was going to stay at my job or not, and I didn't stay. So, I'm going to continue to be outside. I'm going to continue to speak up, and I'm going to continue to bring awareness because there are a lot of people that don't know what's going on. And so they come around and they're asking questions. The media is not telling them what's going on. The media is not letting them know, the truth. So it's up to us as truth tellers to speak up for, those that don't know and those that can't speak up for themselves.
What is the truth that you want to get across?
So the truth is, and the truth that, we want everyone to understand is that you have freedoms. You do have freedoms and you do have rights, and you do not have to be forced to do something that you don't want to do. If you make a choice, which is freedom, to participate in a medical trial or to do what's best for your body, that is your choice. And that's the beauty of America. But you cannot force, coerce, and, make ultimatums. Well, you need to choose your job, over your body autonomy. So the truth really stands that you have rights and you have freedoms, and no means no.
So I've spoken to a couple of passersby and asked them what they thought about the protest, and they were not supportive. They felt that the mandates are a good idea, that they keep people safe, that the vaccines are generally safe, and they're preventing people from getting ill. So what is your response to that?
So my response would be, why do you still have to wear a mask? If they're generally safe and they are protecting you, then, if they're saying that a large portion of society, a large portion of New York City, a large portion of America has done this, then there actually shouldn't be any mandates, because there's only a small percentage that are not getting vaccinated. So then that means there really isn't anything to worry about. And if we were, super spreaders, then that must mean you need to question your vaccination. If what we do is going to spread something that you have just been vaccinated for, you should question whether what you did was worth it or not. So, that would be something that I would say.
So I spoke to a young woman who works in one of these restaurants, and not the one that you protested at, but works in the restaurant industry, and she said that many customers want them to be wearing masks and also to be vaccinated, and she and they see it as see these as elements in a strategy for reducing the illness.
My thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, anyone that thinks that at this point, especially with the flu being around for more than 100 years, tuberculosis being around forever, you have pneumonia that's around. We can even press on the issue with tuberculosis. So many people die from tuberculosis, but we've never had mandates for tuberculosis. We've never had a mandate for the flu. We've never had a mandate, you know, where you have to basically separate yourself from society. We've still been able to mingle and be a part of the public, even though at this time 2 years ago was flu season. No one had an issue. And everyone caught the flu and everyone recovered and everyone, you know, moved on. And you do have some people that if they do get sick, it will be harder for them than most, but there has been breakthroughs in science. There are, you know, alternative medicines and holistic treatments that have treated and have treated people well. Anyone that thinks that a business that they go to should meet their standards, then they're really not ready to be outside in society, because there will always be a sickness. There will always be something new. And if there is that fear, I think it's more on them than, you know, the business that they go to. Especially like, look at us. Okay, we're unvaccinated. All right, you don't know the health measures that we take. You don't know the personal situations on why we can't do it. There's some people who can't do it because of something medically. They won't do it because it's religious. And then they have their own personal beliefs. Maybe they want to wait to see what the trials show, because think about it, this really is a real-time clinical trial, anyone that has gotten it. And to top it off, there are some people a part of this group that are also vaccinated, and they support not being separated. If you make that choice is on you, and that you're not forced.
Right. So you've been to many of these
yes.
protests. From how far back did you start?
My first one was back in February last year. Joe and, you know, New York Freedom Rally, they invited me out to Brooklyn, and we were protesting one of the bills that were going to be passed, that if you are susceptible of having a communicable disease, that they can remove you from your home. And they can put you someplace until you either decide to get vaccinated or whatever. They wouldn't let you out. So that bill is still on the floor and looking to be passed. Once that's passed, you know, that would be something that law enforcement will enforce, policy they would enforce, and infringe upon your rights. Come door to door, and let's say your neighbor calls in a tip, oh, I heard them coughing in a house, or oh, you know, they were out partying. Send someone to come and get you, because now it's possible you might spread a communicable disease. So, you know, I was out for that in February, and then I really started attending more as of August. Literally every Monday we were at City Hall, and then we had our rallies at Foley Square. Then we were at Times Square. You know, we've gone to Gracie Mansion many times. We've marched up and down through the city, over Brooklyn Bridge, and I've been a part of every step. And I'm proud to be a part of every step.
It's noticeable that the protests that have been here, the ones that you've been at, have been a lot smaller than what we've seen overseas in a number of other countries.
Right.
And since the protests started, there have been additional mandates passed in New York City. So where do you see this movement going?
Well, I think with what we have here, even with the numbers that we have here, there are a few factors that go along into it. One, it's the winter. A lot of people, you know, shy away from the cold. Two, travel. Some people have a hard time accessing certain transportation to get to, you know, some of the rallies. And then three, when you compare other countries to here, you look at the history of what's going on in America, they don't teach love your country. Other countries, especially countries, Europe and in the Middle East and even in Africa, you know, all across on the other side of the water, they make sure that every man, woman, and child appreciates the country that they're in. So you're gonna see numbers in the millions. You're gonna see numbers higher than what's happening here, because they have started to dismantle the love for country. And that's where you get the numbers. So the people that are here, that come out faithfully, they're here because they love their country and they know what's right. So, I mean, hopefully one day, and I'm praying that a lot of people, they just really wake up and see, you know, what the truth is and what has been happening in this country for decades. Decades they've been working on this to break apart the American structure and the foundations of America, which is, you know, God, people, and country. You know, they've completely set that down.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Let's go, Brandon.